24 hours to primaries. APC presidential aspirants divided amidst consensus chaos. The speculation that the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC may emerge by consensus arrangement at the pruning of President Muhammadu Buhari is creating chaos in the ruling party at the federal level, whereas the camps of some presidential aspirants of the party embrace the consensus option. The camps of others, notably that of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are opposed to the alleged plan. Buhari had hinted of his wish to have his potential successor from the party picked by consensus when he addressed governors of the APC last week. The president had said at the occasion, in a few days the party will be holding its convention during which primaries will take place to pick the presidential flag bearer for the 2023 general elections. This is a very significant process and its outcome should prove to the world the positive quality of the APC regarding democratic principles, culture, as well as leadership. As we approach the convention, I appeal to all of you to allow our interests to converge, our focus to remain on the changing dynamics of our environment, the expectations of our citizens, and the global community. Our objective must be the victory of our party, and our choice of candidate must be someone who would give the Nigerian masses a sense of victory and confidence even before the election. In keeping with the established internal policies of the party, and as we approach the convention in a few days, therefore, I wish to solicit the reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking my successor who would fly the flag of our party for the election into the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. I wish to assure you that the consultation process shall continue to ensure that all aspirants and stakeholders will be brought on board right through to the convention. This would also ensure that any anxiety occasioned by different factors is effectively brought under control and that our party emerges stronger. Besides Tinubu, 22 other party stalwarts are jostling to pick the APC ticket for the presidential election scheduled to hold in February 2023. They include Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, Senate President Ahmad Lawan, Governor Yahya Bello of Kogi State, Governor Dave Umahayi of Ebonyi State, Governor Kayode Fayemi Ekiti, Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River, immediate past Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, immediate past Minister of Science and Technology and Chief Ogbonaya Onu. Others include the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Dimeji Bankole, and former Governor Ibinkule Amusun of Ogun State. All the 23 aspirants face screening by a committee headed by former National Chairman of the APC, Chief John Odige Oyegu. Submitting the committee's report to the national leadership of the party on Friday, Odige Oyegu said 10 of the aspirants failed the screening. Speaking on the consensus chaos, immediate past chairman of communications, Mr. Adebayo Chitu said, the option is not the best for the party and Nigerians. According to him, delegates from the 774 local government areas of Nigeria must be allowed to decide the fate of their flag bearer. Shitu, a notable ally of Buhari, commended the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for conducting what he called free, fair, and credible presidential primaries, saying it was a precedent to follow. I cannot guarantee the authenticity of the statement on consensus, but like the national chairman of the party had said, it is possible to have consensus agreement for the national chairmanship of the party, but for the presidential candidate, it is a different ball game, the former minister told Sunday Vanguard in Ibadan. This is a different ball game in the sense that the position of those who are representing each local government must be resolved in the continuity of who flies the flag of our party and wins presidential election. If you talk about governors, we have about 22 governors. Their wisdom cannot be equated with the wisdom of all the representatives of the 774 local governments in the country. The PDP has already established a precedent which is appreciated by all who are lovers of democracy. Delegates must be allowed to elect their presidential candidate. It is not all about our party, but about Nigerians. I want to affirm that if we do not want to destroy APC, we must allow all delegates to have a sense of belonging. They must be allowed to decide who gets the ticket of our party. The long and short of it is that consensus is not the best for this country, and it is not the best for our party. The Director General, Network for Bola Tinubu in Ondo State, Mr. Tolu Babalaye, spoke in similar vein, reminding that there are conditions to be met before a consensus candidate can be picked. Under the current situation, APC as a party will have to be very careful in the way they handle this primary in order not to play into the hands of the opposition, Babalaye said in an interview with Sunday Vanguard. Buhari does not have the power to choose for over 200 million Nigerians when we are not operating a monarchical system. This is democracy, for crying out loud. We want genuine democracy and we want free and fair primary election, but we don't want consensus because consensus is indirect imposition. You cannot tell somebody who has bought a form for 100 million naira, someone who has traveled the length and breadth of this country for several times canvassing for votes, and who has spent so much money on logistics and traveling and on hotel accommodation, at the end of the day to go away, that you have zeroed in on somebody else. It will generate bad blood, and that will not be good for the party. I don't want to anticipate what may happen, but if the party goes for consensus, consensus means 100% agreement. 99.99% where an atom of 0.1 is still contesting, saying I don't accept consensus, the party will not go for consensus. And when you look at the Electoral Act, to achieve consensus, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a consensus to be achieved because, according to the Electoral Act, the candidate must write formally to withdraw and say he has not been coerced to withdraw from the race. So as long as one of the presidential aspirants has refused to sign that, I'm not going to sign off. Withdraw. I do not subscribe to consensus. There must be a primary election, otherwise the party will not have presidential candidates. INEC is very serious this time around. They are empowered by law to enforce discipline in all the parties. Meanwhile, some top leaders of the APC across the states, including presidential aspirants, governors, and senators, among others, have emerged as delegates for the primaries.